Okay, looks like we are live. Hello, everyone. This is Mike, and I'm going to do an experiment. And I'm going to do what I did before with the uh, comparison of Second and 10 and Pro Strategy Football 2021. And I'm going to, let me turn this down, just wanted to be sure I was streaming. And I'm going to compare the 1980s decade. And this time I'm a little more organized, and we're going to keep track of how well each simulation does compared to reality. So right now I have the 1980 season loaded in Second and 10 and in Pro Strategy Football 2021. The I really crammed these windows in so it would all fit on my laptop, so please excuse the very small size of both games. But here we go. I'm going to go ahead and, oh, and my battery's running low. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go plug in my laptop. One thing overlooked. I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back. So we are going to start with the 1980 season. I'm going to autoplay the season with Second and 10. And while that is running, going to simulate the season for Pro Strategy Football 2021. Again, this is the 1980 season. And while Second and 10 is running, let's take a look at the Super Bowl combatants in Pro Strategy Football 2021. And we had the Cincinnati Bengals defeat the Chicago Bears. So let's go back and look at how the standings were. Philadelphia went 14-2. In real life, they went 12-4, and they represented the NFC in the Super Bowl. And they beat Dallas, and Dallas ended up with a losing record here. Chicago, wow, what a surprise! They went 15-1. This is 1980, not 1985. The Rams went 13-3. The Jets won their division at 14-2. Cincinnati went 15-1. Wow. So let's see. Oakland, who went 11-5 in real life, went 11-5 here in this game, and the poor Chargers only went 7-9. So for Pro Strategy Football in this one-time sim, now you see on the right, you'll see on the screen, I have a chart, and I'll just put an X by each sim if they get the NFC, AFC, Super Bowl representative correct, and if they get the Super Bowl winner correct. I'm not sure why Second and 10 is taking this long. I guess I need to do quick play. It normally doesn't take this long. So I'm not exactly sure what's the holdup is, but it's still trucking along. So while we're doing that, while we're waiting for that, let me go league leaders here in Pro Strategy Football. And this may be hard for you to see, but it has Steve Bartkowski having the most yards as a quarterback, followed by Ron Jaworski. Then from Denver, Jim Plunkett. Let's quickly take a look at rushing. Burks from Tampa Bay had, wow, 1,900 yards. Receiving, Howard from San Diego had the most receptions with 93. Still waiting for this to finish up. You know what? I think I might have I think this might be wrong. Let me go back. I think I might have simmed the wrong thing for the 1980 season, because I saw a name in there just now. I think I had something old. Let me go ahead and load 1980 season. I'm going to resim it because I saw a modern day player in there, and I think this is probably when I was building and I left the generic template in there. All right, there's the schedule, and we want this one. Let me resim. Yes, playoffs too. Okay, I think that's exactly what happened. I think it was when I was building something. Um, I build so many of these teams, so I'm sorry. But I think it's an old template that I had in there. Because you have to understand, I have so much gunk in my league folder from building all these leagues. I'm one of the creators of building leagues for this game. So I look in actuality, I submit, and look what happens. We actually get the actual Super Bowl matchup from 1980. We get Philadelphia and Oakland, only this time Philadelphia wins. Um, so we actually have, I'm just going to put an X by it. So Pro Strategy Football actually did the NFC and AFC Super Bowl winners. Super Bowl teams. We didn't get the right winner. Let's go back. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Go back to 1980. So you can see all the junk I have in here. I actually understand the junk, so sorry. All right, where were we? Okay, so got the teams right, got the results wrong. Let's take a look at the standings. Okay, Philadelphia went 13-3. In real life, they went 12-4, and they beat the 12-4 Cowboys in real life in the NFC Championship game. Chicago went 13-3. Los Angeles went 14-2, and Atlanta went 12-4, which they did in real life. But Atlanta was actually the number one seed that year. See, the Jets win their division. The Oilers won their division in 1980. And the Raiders go 12-4 along with the Chargers. In real life, both of these teams went 11-5, but San Diego had the tiebreaker. So this is in the realm of believable. I think what I summed before was generic players that I used as a template, and then I built the team, and I left that old template in my database. So I know you're sitting there going, huh? That was not really, the original wasn't the 1980 that I simmed. This is the 1980. So that makes sense. Well, let's take a look at create a playoff, 2nd and 10. And we'll sim the playoffs. And we'll quick play. And we get St. Louis, the Cardinals, losing to the Kansas City Chiefs in 2nd and 10. And let's see what the whoops. So we didn't have Philadelphia or Oakland even making the playoffs. We did have the Browns, who famously lost that game to Oakland, and Atlanta, who was the number one seed. So in this simulation, the 2nd and 10 was way off, and Pro Strategy Football was right on the teams that were represented in the Super Bowl, but it had the different Super Bowl winner. High Sports Time Machine. Let's go Steelers. Well, we'll see. Let's load up 81. And see if I can go a quick play season. Maybe make it a little faster here. Yeah, that's going much faster. Okay. Now I'm going to load the 1981 real life season. You see all the gunk I have in here? It's because I'm building all these teams. Whoops, stop it. 1981. Okay. So I'll sim the 1981 season. This was the year the 49ers beat the Bengals the first time they played each other. And we'll do second and 10 first, okay? We'll create a playoff for second and 10. So if this is right for 81, San Francisco should defeat Cincinnati in the Super Bowl. And we'll quick play it. And we get, wow, we actually got San Francisco and Cincinnati in the Super Bowl with second and 10. Only Cincinnati won. So we will come down here and second and 10 is correct with the Super Bowl teams that face each other in 1981. We got a different winner. Let's see what Pro Strategy Football does. We have Cincinnati winning against Tampa Bay. Interesting. So we have an AFC team that was correctly predicted in Pro Strategy Football, not the correct winner. Let's take a look. It's just easier for me to go to teams and standing. What did San Francisco was 12-4. Oh wow, Cincinnati 15-1. Okay, so let's get out of this and we go to 1982. And this is the strike schedule. And we'll go to 1982 for Pro Strategy Football, also with the strike schedule I put in. 9 weeks, that's correct. Whoops. That's the one that I was playing as a coach. So let me go back. 1992, 82. This is it. Okay. So we will simulate the season. We'll create a playoff. And we're going to do... Now in this year, the Redskins defeated the Dolphins in the Super Bowl. And we have the Dolphins defeating the Cardinals in the Super Bowl with Pro Strategy Football 2021. With second and 10. Pro Strategy Football, we have San Francisco losing to Miami. So both games got the Miami Dolphins in the Super Bowl. They were both right on their AFC representative. And in both cases, they had Miami winning. Now, Miami in real life, I believe, had the best defense in the league, which is a good reason they were winning their games. So for 82, both simulations have the proper AFC representative. No one has gotten a Super Bowl winner right yet. Okay, let's go to 1983. I'll quick play that season. And second and 10. And while I do that, I'm going to load. Hi, Al. Al, Red Sox fan. Hope everything's going well. 1980 Sports Time has seen since 1981, one of my favorite seasons with the Dolphins-Chargers game. Ah, yes. Yes. Hall of Fame a play right there. That one's going to Canton. Sound familiar? Okay, where were we? We are on 83. By the way, the 1952 season has been completed. I've started on the 53, but I'm going to kind of slowly do 53 because I'm going to take the existing season this year, 2020, and I'm going to start the process of prepping it so that there will be a final year-end 2020 this season NFL league for everybody to use. End of season rating, stats, etc., etc., etc. And that's the way these games tend to be built anyway. You don't really go off of what happens in the playoffs. You go off the regular season. So I'm going to start that once the stats come out. But I'm also working on the 1953 season, and I will continue and knock out this month, beginning of next month. I should be finished with the 50s, and our other Maker Lee may be done with the 90s and around the same time. So we would have from 1950 to 1999, and then we're going to kind of split off, and one of us, I guess, is going to do the 2000s, as one of us is going to do 2010. So our goal is to have 1950 through 2020 done before the next version of the game is out. And then we may just take all of those leagues and convert them to 2021 and go from there. So, let's see, where were we? I digressed to the point where people are annoyed. All two of you watching. Stop it! Come on, mouse. I need a new mouse. Stop it. Well, I might have to use my laptop mouse. 1983. Okay, that's the one. That's the one that I had to do a file fix on. So that's right. Okay. Simulate 1983. Again, this is the year the Raiders defeated the Redskins in the Super Bowl. Let's take a look at 2nd and 10. We're going to create a playoff. Yes. And quick play it. Boy, this game loves the Cardinals. 2nd and 10 really loves St. Louis. They have them in the Super Bowl, but losing to the Chiefs. Interesting. All right, let's see what happened with Pro Strategy Football. Wow. We get Washington, and they play Dan Marino in his rookie year, Dan Marino's Dolphins. They won, but they have them playing the wrong team. The Raiders didn't make it in either one of these sims. So let's see. We have the NFC representative correct on Pro Strategy Football, and neither team is correct on 2nd and 10. Okay, off to 1984. This was the year. I'm going to go ahead and quick sim. 1984 may be, to me, the most epic season, all things considered. You had a 15-1 team, you had a 14-2 team. Records set out the wazoo before the league changed over to basically having such strict rules that if you look at a quarterback, you get a 15-yard penalty for roughing the passer. I mean, that was just an amazing season, in my opinion. So many records, so many amazing things to see that year. Okay, all right, 1984, 2nd and 10. We'll create the playoff. Now, this was the year the 49ers defeated the Dolphins. And let's quick play the playoffs. This game loves St. Louis. I don't get it. 31-29, St. Louis defeats Seattle. Now, I will say in 84, I know the Cardinals were 9-7, but this was the year that Neil Lomax had an insane year with his passing. His statistics were fantastic. I mean, he wasn't Marino, but if you look at the 1980s decade that has the best single season from every team, the 84 team from the Cardinals is who is representative of them. But let's sim the 84 season, Pro Strategy Football, Super Bowl result. We have San Francisco defeating Seattle 23-13. Wow. Okay. Seattle was 12-4 in real life. In 84, they were a wild card. Denver went 13-3, and the Elway's Broncos got upset by Pittsburgh, who got demolished in the AFC Championship game against Miami. So let's see. 84, we have the NFC representative and our first winner. So that's where we are. Let's take a look at 1985. All right. And we'll quick play the season. And we'll load. Whoops. This, in 85, it's the year the Bears defeated the Patriots. Okay. Zoom. All right. And I've seen the season in the Super Bowl. Let's do the same here. Yeah, I don't think the Cardinals would have moved to Arizona either. If they played that well and they have what, 3 appearances already in 2nd and 10. So I'll tell you, if you're playing in the 80s and you're playing somebody in 2nd and 10, take the Cardinals. Apparently, let's quick play the playoffs. And wow, Al Red Sox fan must be jumping up and down, screaming his head off. 2nd and 10 got the matchup correct, but they have New England completely destroying Chicago. Wow. Steve Grogan, MVP. Okay, I know if Al's still watching, I got to look at we have to look at the box score for him. Here, let's see. Craig James had a 6-yard run for a touchdown. Franklin had a field goal. Morgan had a 38-yard touchdown pass from Grogan. Collins had an 11-yard run. And Morgan had a 49-yard pass from Franklin. This is in the first quarter. Good grief. Chicago, Reitman had a 30-yard pass from McMahon, and I think that was it was the only score. Good grief. And then New England field goal, touchdown. Oh, jeez. Wow. Grogan only threw 11 passes? Really? Oh, he only had 11 completions, pardon me, but 3 touchdowns. Statistically, the screen's cut off because I shrunk down the game. But statistically, wow. Okay. Let me get out of this. Well, let's see what 2nd and 10 did. It has the Bears, and they win the Super Bowl. But instead of playing New England, they play Denver. They play Elway's Broncos, who didn't make it that year. They were 11-5 and missed the playoffs. I remember seeing John Elway on television going, "It's not fair that we don't make the playoffs, but the 8-8 Browns, who win their division, get in the playoffs. We're 11-5 and we don't get in." Okay, 2nd and 10. Got both teams right for 1985, who actually played, but they have the wrong winner. I would say they have the right winner, but in reality, they have the wrong winner. And Pro Strategy Football 2021 has the correct NFC representative. Okay, on to 1986. 1986 was the year the Giants, quick play season, was the year the Giants defeated the Denver Broncos. I'll tell you what, building the 1950s, even if they didn't make it to or win a title, I mean, with the exception of 1950 maybe, if you're playing pro strategy football with early 50s teams, if you're not taking the Browns, take the Lions. Oh my goodness, they're good. All right, here we go. 86. Okay. And we'll sim it. I did set all this up with beforehand, Pro Strategy Football, with their schedules loaded and ready to go. And I turned, by the way, with Pro Strategy Football, I didn't state this before, I did turn off injuries. There are no injuries for this sim because the injuries in 2nd and 10 don't carry over week to week. You may have an injury in a game, and 2nd and 10 also has pre-built in injuries where players will play or they won't play depending on what they did in real life in the given week. So Pro Strategy Football doesn't have that. If you get hurt, you could be hurt part of the game. You could be gone for the year. So 2nd and 10 doesn't have that. So to balance it out, I just turned off the injuries for Pro Strategy Football. All right, 86. This should be the Giants defeating the. Whoa! Okay, interesting. The Giants made it, but they ended up losing to Cleveland, who just missed going to the Super Bowl. So, you know, at least in this case with 86, with second and 10, this is a believable result because this at least was almost the matchup. So you got the right NFC team for second and 10. And let's take a look at Pro Strategy Football. We have Minnesota beating Kansas City. Okay. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. It's a bad habit of mine. 86. I think this was it. Yeah. Okay. Just out of curiosity, the Giants went 10 and 6. Minnesota went 13 and 3. Miami went 10 and 6. Cleveland 14 and 2. Denver 13 and 3. A little better than they were in real life. Okay. What? Well, I'm sorry, Al. No right winner. What was that? What did I miss when you were saying that? I'm sorry. I'm looking at my phone for because I'm doing all of this off of a laptop. Um, I'm looking at chat on my phone. I don't know what you mean. No right win. There was no. You just there's no right winner, if you will, for the between the two games. I didn't know if you were correcting me, like I put the wrong winner or loser in my little chart. You mean there's no right winner between these two football games? I'm assuming that's what you mean. And you're right, there isn't. It's this is just a fun comparison. It's apples and oranges. These games, I mean, second and 10 has Pro Strategy Football beat on A, B, and C, and I think Pro Strategy Football has second and 10 beat on X, Y, and Z. It's, if you merge these two games together somehow, you might come as close to, and I'm not knocking on, say, action at all. Don't misunderstand. But I haven't played action since the 1990s. Um, and I'm not criticizing. I was a pro league football kind of guy. Where are we going? 87. Okay. Now the 87, I'm using the 15-week season, the 15-week strike season for both, and simulate. And while we're waiting for second and 10, let's see what Pro Strategy Football has. We have Cleveland losing to San Francisco. San Francisco only had two losses that year, and they lost to Minnesota on that crazy game. Cleveland just missed going to the Super Bowl again. So this matchup would be believable. Let's see what we have for second and 10. And we have Cleveland, San Francisco. How about that? Both games gave us Cleveland, San Francisco, and both games had San Francisco winning. And look at the score difference: 27-14, 28-24. Let's just look at the MVP and compare Montana with Montana. All right. 257 passing yards. Wow, we only had 133 at Pro Strategy Football. He had one touchdown with Pro Strategy Football, three with second and 10. Okay, interesting. I'm going to make a note here. Both had same matchup in 87 and same winner. So you were doing the alumni teams for college football for NFL Challenge. Okay, is this what, college? Patriots winning was the right winner. What, in 85? Well, if we were talking, say, 2007, maybe. Quick season. Although I called that one. I said that I thought the Patriots were running out of gas and the Giants were going in hot. 88. This was the year San Francisco defeated Cincinnati the second time. All right. Oops. Okay. All right. Let's see what we get. We get Buffalo defeating the Rams 23-20 for 1988 with second and 10. With Pro Strategy Football, look at that. We get San Francisco and Cincinnati, the real life matchup, but we have Cincinnati winning the game. And Pro Strategy Football has Cincinnati with a 13-3 record. In real life, they were 12-4. San Francisco with an 11-5 record. In real life, they were 10-6. So, all right. Right now, it looks like Pro Strategy Football has the advantage. Let's see what 89 brings us. I'll quick sim that. And if I can, I'm going to try to go through individual seasons and compare stats. I don't know how well it's going to work doing all this off my laptop. Okay, let's see what second and 10 does. In reality, this was San Francisco defeating Denver. And we'll quick play it, and we have San Francisco defeating Denver. So second and 10 got that right. And let's see what Pro Strategy Football did. San Francisco defeating Denver. Both got the same result. Look at that. And look at the records for second and 10. The records that they had in the regular season. San Francisco went 14-2 in real life, just like Pro Strategy Football shows, and the same thing for Denver. Wow. Okay. That's pretty cool. That's a nice function. All right. Is there a way, I don't know if anybody can help me with this. Is there a way to just look at the regular season, like 1980? Yeah, you can. Okay. All right. All right. So we're going to compare stats, and I'll go back to 1989 because I've already got it loaded over here. So we'll just go backwards. Okay. Um, if you look in the chart on the bottom right, second and 10 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams correctly predicted in their simulation over a decade. So there are 20 slots. They got 6 of the 20 slots correct. Did not correctly predict. Oh, wait a minute. What am I doing? Because 89, I take that back. What was it in 88? Now I've forgotten. I don't think. Who did they have? Who did we have winning in 88? In the playoffs. Oh. If I made a mistake on 88, let me know. I don't think I did. Okay, so second and 10 predicted one Super Bowl winner right. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the possible 20 teams correct for the playoffs. Pro Strategy Football has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 of the 20 possible teams to go to the Super Bowl correct, and 2 winners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 and 1. Well, let's do it this way. 1, 2, 3, we have 4 of the 10 NFC teams correct. We have 4 of the AFC teams correct out of 10, and 1 Super Bowl winner right. Here we have 6 of the 10 NFC teams that made the Super Bowl correct with Pro Strategy Football, and 5 of the AFC teams correct, and we have 2 Super Bowl winners. So you got 9 versus 13. So a slight advantage on Pro Strategy Football 2021 when accurately depicting the playoffs teams, if you will. But let's go look at some stats here. Let's look at team standings first. Let's see, 1989. Let's take a look at standings. And we have it in reverse. Okay. 89 had New York winning the division with Pro Strategy Football and Washington with 2nd and 10. They both had Minnesota winning the Central. Both had San Francisco winning the West. Pro Strategy Football got correct the actual record of San Francisco. 2nd and 10 had them at 16-0. Let's see. In the AFC, 2nd and 10 has Indianapolis winning the division, where Pro Strategy Football has Miami. They have Cleveland and Pittsburgh tied, but Cleveland has a tiebreaker in 89 to win the division. And Houston wins the division with Pro Strategy Football, Cleveland a half game behind. And the West, both teams had Denver go 11-5, which is what they went 12-4 with 2nd and 10. So let's take a look at maybe some stats. Let's go by teams. Let's take a look at San Francisco stats. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see. Is that his? All right. Let's see. San Francisco players. Let's compare Joe Montana. 2nd and 10 had him throwing 379 times. Pro Strategy Football 473. Completion percentage. 2nd and 10 had him at 71.2. Pro Strategy Football at 69.8. Okay, close. 2nd and 10 had 3,700 yards, where Pro Strategy Football had him at just over 4,000. 2nd and 10 had Montana throwing 38 touchdown passes, and Pro Strategy Football 30. 2nd and 10 had Montana throwing 9 interceptions, and Pro Strategy Football 8. Let's see. Quarterback rating for Montana with 2nd and 10 is a 125.8. With Pro Strategy Football, it's 109.75. Let's look at rushing. Let's see. Roger Craig ran more on Pro Strategy Football, 344 attempts versus 281 with 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10 had him at just over 1,000 yards, and Pro Strategy Football had him at over 1,400. So his longest was a 28-yard run in 2nd and 10, and the Pro Strategy Football was a 50-yarder, and that was a touchdown. Jerry Rice, let's compare. Okay, in 2nd and 10, Jerry Rice caught 94 catches. Pro Strategy Football, 85. Rice had 1,443 yards with 2nd and 10. He had 1,165 with Pro Strategy Football. 2nd and 10, 20 touchdowns. Pro Strategy Football, 6. His longest catch in 2nd and 10 was 65. His longest catch with Pro Strategy Football was 72 and a touchdown. Okay. So let's look at let's see, special teams, just for laughs, because these are straight up numbers. Mike Kofer was 63 for 66 on extra points in second and 10. He was 44 for 47 in Pro Strategy Football. Bears record in 85. I'll do that next. So in both games, Mike Kofer missed 3 extra points. And let's see. His longest field goal was 48 yards in second and 10, and it was 47 in Pro Strategy Football. Okay. Let's take a look at the 85 Bears. Get out of this. 85. All right. Chicago went 13-3 in Pro Strategy Football. They went 15-1 in real life. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. All right. Standings. Let's come up. Scroll down. Okay. Pro Strategy Football had the Bears go 16-0, run the table, and second and 10 had them go 16-0, run the table. Pro Strategy Football had them go 13-3. Points for Chicago, 473 on second and 10, 373 on Pro Strategy Football, and their defense points for 201 with second and 10, 210 with Pro Strategy Football. So they were both close. You're right, Al. There's only 4 running backs in Pro Strategy Football, so that would be a good reason why the increased load of running, where second and 10, as long as you ran enough runs, you're listed in the game, or had enough catches, you're listed in the game. If you only had like 1 catch, if there's a whole bunch of players with 1 catch, they might not be listed. You're right. Pro Strategy Football is restricted. There's only 4 running backs. There's only 3 wideouts. Excuse me. There are 5 wideouts, 3 tight ends, and it's hard code, etched in stone. That's how many you have to have. I do know the programmer is working on a 53-man roster for next year, so that can be modified. So, is there anything else anybody might be interested in looking at? Let's take a look. I want to see the 84 season. Okay. Let's see how everybody did there. Whoops. I just closed second and 10. Or did I shrink it down? Oh, I closed it. Okay. I'm going to have to reopen it, so bear with me right now. You're going to see a bunch of gobbledygook. Now I have to shrink it down again. Oh, come on, second and 10. Well, I might not be able... Oh, there we go. Okay. There it goes. Oh boy. And my mouse is not the greatest. So I think my mouse is becoming shot. So there's that fun to work with. Alright, I might be looking at this for second and 10. Alright. 84. Let's just see how everybody did, and we'll compare it. Oh, I do have that loaded. Never mind. Okay. See, they have St. Louis in second and 10 at 11 and 5 and 84. Chicago 11 and 5, 10 and 6, which is second and 10 has what Chicago did, correct, in real life. Second and 10 has San Francisco going 14 and 2, and Pro Strategy Football has them going 13 and 3. Miami goes 13 and 3 with Pro Strategy Football, and they go 14 and 2, which is actually what they did in real life in second and 10. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati in both games go 8 and 8. That's interesting. Only Pittsburgh apparently has a tiebreaker with Pro Strategy Football, and Cincinnati had the tiebreaker with second and 10. Seattle, both games had them winning the division. 12 and 4 with Pro Strategy Football, 14 and 2 with second and 10. Denver went 13 and 3 real life, and that's what it did in second and 10, and 10 and 6 on Pro Strategy Football. So, I'm going to conclude this, but I'm going to I'm going to blow this up. So here are the results that we got. In the end, we have second and 10 with the 1980s, correctly predicting 4 of the 10 NFC representatives in the Super Bowl, correctly predicting 4 of the AFC representatives in the Super Bowl, 1 correct Super Bowl winner. Now, in 1981 and 1985, second and 10 had the correct matchup, but they had the opposite team winning. The team that actually lost those games, second and 10 had winning. And an interesting fact, in 1987, both second and 10 and Pro Strategy Football had the same matchup. They both had San Francisco defeating Cleveland, which is believable if you're familiar with that season. All right, so Pro Strategy Football 2021 in the 1980s, of the NFC representatives in the Super Bowl, they correctly predicted 6 of the 10. The AFC representatives in the Super Bowl, they correctly predicted 5 of the 10. The last 2 Super Bowls, 88 and 89, they correctly predicted the participants. So both games have 2 Super Bowls where they correctly predicted the participants that actually happen. So there's a tie on that. And Pro Strategy Football correctly predicted 2 Super Bowl winners. And ironically, both of them were San Francisco. The one that second and 10 got right was also San Francisco. They both Sims agreed on 1989's final result. Both of them were right on that. So I think this is apples and oranges again. I think it's what you like in a game. There's no right or wrong answer. I just wanted to compare. I was trying to be a little more organized this time than I was with the 70s. So those are the results, and I thank everybody for all 2 of you for for joining in, and everybody have a good night.